Welcome to It Takes Two. I'm Blair.
I'm Chris.
And today we'll be talking about Love Island All-Stars Season 2, Episode 6.
I need y'all to subscribe, like, share, comment, all the above. I see the views coming up. Listen, America's starting to catch up. UK, we here with y'all. You ready, Blair?
I'm ready.
Let's go.
All right, so the Islanders play Suck and Blow.
Whoa.
If they drop the card, they have to do a truth or a dare. Curtis gets a dare. He has to pick 3 girls to show his top 3 favorite sex positions.
Okay.
So he chooses Ekin, Olivia, and India. Olivia has to give someone a kiss that's not in her couple. She chooses Luca. Gabby was dared to kiss someone that she's not in a couple with. She chose Luca. Ronnie is asked, is there someone you'd rather be in here other than Elma? He says no. Luca was dared to kiss his top 2 girls that he fancies in the villa. He chose Kaz and Tina. Kaz is asked, does she fancy Luca? She said she's open, but for a connection, you need 2 people. Casey tells the truth about him and Tina, how they got it popping in Antigua.
Yeah, he did.
He had to apologize to her because he left her at a party by herself. Tina says it was more than that. He left with a group of girls. He didn't say bye, and she was literally just in the man's bed a couple days ago.
Wow.
So he does apologize again. Casey is asked who is the biggest game player. He said Kaz because she went in on him as soon as he got to the villa. She said that he effed over every girl he had been with, but Kaz doesn't feel like she said that. He's been with a lot of Islanders, and she felt like she was just telling the truth. Casey then was dared to kiss who you just argued with.
That's crazy.
So he had to kiss Kaz.
True.
Gabby's face was kind of tight.
Excuse me.
Tina was asked to rate her dates. 3rd was Naz, 2nd was Luca, and 1st was Scott.
Ooh.
She tells India that they had a good time. He wasn't disrespectful. India is asked, who do you think is the most calculated? And she chooses Scott.
Bad move.
Elma says, well, you kissed India and then you're wanting to get to know somebody else. Scott feels like he's been clear on where he stands, and now he has the ick by India calling him out like that.
Oh, good job recapping that, Blair. You really did your thing. Anything that stuck out to you, one thing that stuck out to me is that you taught me with Love Island is that when someone call you a game player, that is not a compliment.
Right.
You are not good at playing a game. That's not a compliment. So I think her days are numbered.
Yeah.
And she is literally just surviving by the skin of her teeth. Anything else that stuck out to you?
The other thing that stuck out to me was when Kaz said a connection takes 2 people. I think that's what woke Luca up and made him realize that he is at Love Island.
It started.
So he needs to start making some connections and putting himself out there because he's not here just to hang with the bros all summer.
Yeah.
So
anything else about the India and Scott thing? I felt like India, you let your emotions get the best of you in the game.
Yeah, I felt like that was a cheap dig. I mean, maybe she was irritated with Scott for getting to know the girl. She told him that it was fine and they had a conversation. So for her to dig at him like he was doing something wrong, it just showed she was just being petty.
Yeah, it was bratty. Let's keep going.
Yeah. So Ronnie is telling Scott that he didn't do anything wrong, but Scott does have the ick.
Yeah.
India says how he talked about how they flip between friend and romantic, and who else would she choose? Anybody else, literally. like that's they
like
said Kaz already. Just say Kaz.
I'm about to say pick on Cass since everybody thinks she's a game player or Nas. Like anybody, literally, except for the one that you're with.
Right. Well, Scott and Tina talk. He's baffled because he has been trying to be respectful, and Tina reassures him that he has been. Tina feels the attraction and would want to kiss him if they were on the outside, but Scott is just really confused right now.
Yeah.
So when they finish their conversation, he's talking to Ekin, and Ekin points out to tonight Scott is confused, but Ekin points out to India that Scott and Tina are talking because she always got to have her hand.
Come on, man. She is everywhere at all times.
Yes. She had to choose someone, and no one else had done anything calculated. Is India's thought process. Yeah. Scott pulls India for a chat. He apologizes for his reaction, but he felt disrespected. Yeah. India wished that he wouldn't have taken it so personal. Shouting at her gave her the ick, and she thought that he could take it. Scott tells her that it's a culmination of things. He feels like he's back in his shell again. Yeah. So now they both have an ick. He apologizes again and just wants to move on from the issue.
So I got an ick because you got an ick.
That's what I'm saying. India's being petty. She's being petty and childish right now. if Scott was really offended, India should have apologized, but she couldn't even offer up an apology to him. So that's what makes me think, like, is India even ready for like a grown relationship?
She talking all that big stuff, talking about like how she want a man and things like that. And I'm like, well, I'll tell you this right now. It is possible for men to get the ick. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get icks and things of that nature. But at the end of the day, it's like, don't come at me and tell me that you got an ick because I got an ick. Yeah. Okay, I made up the word in the moment. Okay, so for India literally could have chose anybody else, and she just mad because she realized that Scott was honest when he came and talked to her about the date and how he felt about it, and he even told Tina on the date, I'm going to do this respectfully. This is not just going to be we just going to rekindle and just be talking just all willy-nilly. This going to be respectful. And she just felt some type of way, and she just acting out. She lashing out.
She is. So India, Kaz, and Gabby talk.
Yeah.
Gabby doesn't know about Casey at this point. She's wondering what makes her different than any of the other girls since he has such a colorful past of different women.
True.
She doesn't think that she should let his past make a difference in how she feels about him, though.
Kaz, I want to stop you right there.
Go ahead.
Because that just reminded me of something I was doing my homework. Gabby, you got a colorful past too. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? Hey, I'm just saying, even though you was cheated on, I say you are part of the cheating fraternity too.
Okay.
Of doing unto others what was done to you. Now, I will say, during the game, Gabby her face was getting kind of tight whenever Casey came up and things of that nature. But you got to understand that, hey, this is Casey's not first time, not second time, third time on Love Island. So obviously, I don't think like we can look at Casey and say, oh, he's coming on Love Island because he's really looking for the one. So I think she should just accept that, hey, Casey is going to have a colorful past. You get what I'm saying? Maybe he could be a little less transparent and maybe less flippant about it. Like, yeah, me and Tina slept together. Like, but it's who he is. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. So Kaz says everyone wants to settle down and wants love. Mm-hmm. India feels like, well, he probably got it out of his system. Gabby does like him, and she feels like she needs to focus on how she feels versus how he is feeling about her. And the only thing I really have to say about that is, Gabby, just pay attention to what Casey does. I think that they're all just speculating. She's talking about how colorful his past is. The girls are saying everyone wants to settle down and fall in love, but we're on Love Island. And the thing is, I don't know how many people come on this show like really wanting something serious. I think people probably do, but they want to have a good time as well. And Casey seems like he wants to have a good time still.
Ronnie, come on in for something serious. Turbo.
Okay, sure.
Okay.
So I think that Gabby should just pay attention to what's going on around her, and just keep your neck on a swivel.
Oh yeah,
head on a swivel. So Luca and Kaz.
Yeah.
Kaz thinks that it takes two people to make a connection, and Luca tells her he feels at ease with her. It was a nice kiss, but it could have been better. Maybe they could cuddle tonight, and she said maybe we could be friends with benefits.
Why would you say that? The minute you said that, guess what, Luca? I ain't gonna hold you, Luca. You know when to stop a conversation. Hey, I don't need nothing else. You get what I'm saying? I don't need to know why. Hey, you brought it up. I'm with it. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, Cass, do you realize that you're in the hole? You had your man taken, right? Your girl code reputation is in the trash. Now everybody's calling you a game player, and now you're just a friends with benefit. You're just basically a placeholder for the next girl. It's like, oh, how, and this is only like 4 days y'all been there.
And to me, this is where I think that Kaz just is not thinking. I think that Kaz isn't really into Luca like that. And she's talking about how she wants to keep it fun and flirty, which is cool. But Kaz, you really don't have a connection. And she's sitting around trying to buy time till somebody comes in who's for her, which, you can't make her like anyone she doesn't necessarily like. But talking about we're going to be friends with benefits and just shutting it down like that, I felt like it was kind of premature to allowing the relationship to kind of grow to see where it goes. And I think Luca kind of put you in the box of friends with benefits. Okay, that's all she wants. And he's, like you said, he's not going to push it any further. Luca, he just seems very young to me. Yeah. And I think that he's kind of unsure of himself when it comes to these women. And maybe it is because there haven't been women that he really has felt a spark with in there. But all of these women are extremely beautiful.
Yeah.
And I just find it hard to believe that he hasn't been interested in anyone. I just think that he's a little bit reserved and a little bit nervous. I think he's scared to put himself out there.
Well, Blair, you have to understand something, that there is a Three Musketeers on the show. That there's a tandem on the show that we see. It's Luca, it's Ronnie, and it's Casey, right? Mm-hmm. You have Luca being basically he is the young grasshopper. He's young. You get what I'm saying? Ronnie is the sensei, you know, and Casey is just the OG that just don't know when to give up. Like he is the one that's still coming to the club.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? You've been here 3 times already on Love Island. Let it go. Mm-hmm. But it just seems like Ronnie and Casey have a reputation that kind of precedes them, and Luca, as we go see the next scene, is hanging around them too. So I feel like he's going to be part of that group to where it's like, you know, he's basically just going to pick up from what they're doing.
Yeah, so we see the Three Musketeers together. Oh, yeah. Luca thinks that he wants to kiss Tina tonight and just kind of see what comes of it. And Ronnie and Casey are telling him to go for it. Mm-hmm. So Luca walks up to Tina, tells her that he wants a kiss, and pulls her into the middle of the villa. Ooh. He's asking her how her first night was, how the kiss was, and eventually they just have a peck and they end up hugging. They try to like make out and cover their mouths, but everyone sees what they're doing. And to me, I just got to talk about that. Luca, I think that looked bad. That looked really bad. I feel like it maybe, I don't know how Tina felt about it, but if I was Tina in that position, I'd be like, oh, you really think nothing of me.
Yeah, true. Me too.
Like, you wouldn't pull me up to the terrace for privacy or into the secret garden so we can actually like talk before we kiss. Like, you just wanted to show out for your friends.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And that gives very much little boy, because they were literally on the couch like rooting for him and laughing and all that type of stuff. And I just, as a grown woman, like, I don't see how Tina could find that attractive.
I'm not gonna hold you. I actually think, if y'all watch the episode, I actually think this is the moment that made her choose the latter. Dude, you get what I'm saying? Because you got to understand something, that Tina got to still operate within girl code. So, because even though she may not, you know, even though I feel like none of these girls really like each other, but you know what I mean? They don't hate each other either. So she still have to not be seen as a game player. I think she knows, like, you're coupled up with Cass, right? You pulling me in front of basically the whole villa, in front of basically your 2 leaders, your basically your 2 mentors, and they cackling and laughing, and it can't, dude, you know what it came off as? I think Luca was kind of, what's the word? Well, not kind of. He was immature, because just a couple segments ago, even in the last episode, the whole thing around the villa was that Casey and Tina, like, had a moment together, that, like, you know, they slept together. And for you to basically use her as a tool to have Casey, like, laughing again as if, like, she already felt like a tool before, as she said in the game. And now you're using her as a tool again to basically try to get whatever off or to impress whatever. I think this is actually the moment that made her go, you know what? I'm going to go with the other guy, you know?
Maybe. So it's bedtime. India doesn't like how Scott shouted that she gave him the ick. Luca tells the guys that Kaz said that they could be friends with benefits, but with Tina, it seems like there could be something there. Okay. Scott tells them that he's taking a backseat on India. Tina kissed Luca's neck, and he wiped it off and put it on his lips.
Oh, well, I ain't gonna hold you. I did laugh at Curtis, because when Cass was on one side of him and Tina was on the other side, he said, hey, he said, hey, big boy. You know what I'm saying? Hey, or basically, hey, big man. Hey, look, Luca gonna learn the hard way. You get what I'm saying? He just gonna learn the hard way, because I think eventually no one's gonna take him seriously. You know.
And the only thing else I want to say, that I think that why it makes Luca like so much like more cringy is because these people are a lot older, and it seems like he's just very unexperienced. Yeah. And maybe like on his first time around when he was on Love Island, if he actually like tried to put himself out there and maybe made mistakes, but it really just looks like he's like looking for people to give him the sign of approval that he's doing the right thing, versus like him actually doing what he wants. And he does that even with his conversations with the ladies. That really got on my nerves too.
I mean, like from what I was told, he was on the same season with Ekin.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, and he liked Ekin, but he was scared to approach Ekin. He was scared to talk to her. So it's like, I think what you say It's 100% facts.
So we see Casey and Gabby were making out. Ekin-Su and Curtis stay making out.
Yeah.
And Scott and India are miles apart in the same bed.
This is when I
was like, are they in the same bed?
This is when I knew the relationship was over. She was under the covers and he was on top of the covers. I was like, oh yeah. Oh yeah. Like, I don't want even a chance of you trying to apologize to me with your feet. You get what I'm saying? Keep your feet where your feet is. I'm gonna be on outside the cover, and if I'm ever sleeping on top of the cover, I don't want to be near you, because I'm the type of person where I need to be completely submerged under the bed. I need the cover over me completely. I need a pillow on top of me so I can feel completely, submerged.
Yes. So it's the next morning. Naz brings Catherine coffee. Ekin grabs Luca for a chat and asks if he fancies Kaz. Luca, thinks Kaz might be just showing him more interest because Tina's there. Yeah. And Ekin kind of tells him, you can kiss them both if you want to. And she tells him things have to be different this time. Luca says that his options are open, but he wants to be respectful and go with what he's feeling. You were already disrespectful when you brought the girl in the middle of the villa. Like, I don't know what Luca thinks he's doing. Yeah. I really don't think he knows what he's doing.
No.
So we've got Scott in India. He still apologizes to India, but he feels let down. The last person in the world who would humiliate her, like he thought would be her. He tells her, you pointed me out as calculated in front of everyone. And India said that it was a game. She had to choose somebody and it wasn't personal. Scott tells her that we're not together. We're getting to know each other, and he feels that the trust has been broken. India can respect where he's at. He is willing to work their way through it, but it does feel like a setback to them both, and they hug it out. When he walks away, she ends up crying, and the other girls try to console her. And my thing with India is, it's going to sound crazy to him coming from me, but sometimes you got to be wrong on your own. Sometimes you're wrong and it hurts when your partner is upset with you when you did something wrong, and you could be like, can you just be like a little just softer and just kinder in your correction, and you know what I'm saying? But the thing is Scott couldn't have said it any differently. He really couldn't have. He had to express how he felt. He did apologize to her for his reaction, but he wasn't wrong for his reaction. Yeah. And India is choosing to make it seem like she has a problem with him because he has a problem with her. When, girl, you don't have a problem with him. You're just upset that he's upset. Yeah. So, but I've been there.
Who was that great philosopher who said, like, sometimes you have to be wrong on your own?
You.
Me? Me? Where I am a big believer of it. Guess what? Being wrong does not always come in pairs, all right? You are wrong by yourself. Oh, please. You could have said it nicer. What do you mean? Yeah. I'm not wrong. You get what I'm saying? And I 100% agree with you. I knew India knew she messed up the minute she came out there with that cowboy hat and them shades on, hiding the puffy eyes and things of that nature. Because now she feels like, hey, I'm too far in to turn back now. You get what I'm saying? Like now I have to commit. You know? And Scott basically, even though I was talking to my wife about it while watching it, I was like, he basically broke up with her, in my opinion. Like, even though, like, it was nice and he was direct, he said in the room before they went to bed, he said, I'm taking the back seat on this. Like, okay, then who gonna drive? He said, not me. Okay, I'm gonna be in the back seat. And what he basically said here, whenever a guy say something like, especially when he talked about, out of everyone who I would have thought would have humiliated me, it wouldn't have been you, but you did. And then he says something across the lines of, we wasn't together. I'm like, oh boy, who how many of y'all heard that line before, to where, like, y'all are basically doing, not for me, right? Where you done everything that, a good girl would do, a good girlfriend would do.
Doing a little too much.
Just a little too much. Your flame burning a little too high. And for him to say, like, first of all, like, for you to feel like you have the right to be this mad at me, first of all, we was never together. I'm like, oh yeah, he ain't trying to go back. Yeah.
So Luca and Kaz are talking. Yeah. They enjoyed their cuddles the night before, and he asked how she felt with him getting to know Tina. Kaz does not mind. Honestly, it's beyond doesn't mind. She really does not care. Yeah. He doesn't know where to go from here. He has a spark with Tina, and Kaz is also showing interest. Kaz tells him to get to know Tina. Our thing is different. Kaz thinks things with Luca are good. It's just a flirty and fun time. So basically, Luca's just there for her to buy time. Yeah. And Luca, don't be asking the girls you're talking to what they think about you talking to other women. Yeah. You can tell them what you're going to do, but you don't need nobody's permission. So...
It is what it is with Luca.
So Gabby and Casey. She didn't expect to feel this way about Casey. He feels like they're in a good place. He tells her that he will always be honest with her, and she agrees vice versa. She appreciates the reassurance he gave her in their conversation, and they kiss.
Nice.
With Luca and Tina, he needed Tina to walk in. He has been too reserved. He's still getting along with Kaz, but he wants to be respectful. There's not as much chemistry with Kaz. He's saying all this to Tina. Why? I don't know.
I really don't get it.
But he is keeping things open. Tina is his number one for now. She was hoping for a little cuddle at some point.
Yeah.
But they both said that they would like to share a bed with each other. They hug and they give a kiss on the cheek.
I ain't gonna hold you. When I was watching this scene, even though Tina was like being nice, I thought in my head, I was like, I feel like Tina got the ick. Like, because I'm like, for him to say, I needed you to walk in, this also proves another thing too. During this time, since the date, how many times have Tina and Scott talked since they've been in the villa?
Like once?
Maybe
twice.
once, right? Maybe once, right? And guess what? There haven't been really much interaction with them this episode almost at all.
Yeah.
Right? And we know who she chooses at the end. So it's like Luca has been having the most interactions with Tina the whole time. Talking to her, updating her, and things of that nature.
Kissing her?
Yes.
In front of everybody?
Exactly. So for him to say, like, I needed you to walk in, like I needed you, Tina already knew who she wanted. And I think Luca, the way he approached it, as Blair said, very immature. I think she's getting the ick off of him. Like, I don't want to be needed in that way, you know?
Yeah. So it's nighttime.
Yeah.
Everyone's outside. Ekin is talking to Tina.
Oh, no.
And she tells Tina, honestly, I think you bring out more in Scott than India does.
Wow.
And they really haven't spoken much since she's been here.
Yes.
Ekin asks, would you kiss him tonight? How do you know if you like him if you don't? She doesn't really know, but she thinks Luca is sweet, and she doesn't know if she would be able to get that from Scott. And Ekin tells her, you would just need to take one step in, if you know what I mean.
Oh, my God. Look, man.
Yeah.
Ekin is just, I didn't even see Ekin walk over there. It's almost as if she just appears. It's like she appears and, like, you know, like in smoke and stuff.
Yeah, she materializes.
And then that's where she just disappeared.
Right.
Look, man, from YouTuber to YouTuber, right? That's basically what she's doing, from bombshell to bombshell.
Right.
You gotta make your mark here, and I don't get how people falling for this.
Yeah.
But truth be told, I don't think that she said anything to convince her of a move that she wasn't going to do anyway.
Right.
I think Tina's already into Scott, and basically Ekin is just basically the voice that she already have in her head already, you know?
Curtis tells Scott that he has a mental block. He's looking for an initial spark. He hasn't really had it with India. He doesn't know if Tina would be the one to settle down with, but she would be someone to have fun with.
Okay.
Tina walks to the guys and they talk about how, you know, it doesn't seem like anyone has really settled in with their couples yet.
Yeah.
Ekin and Olivia chat.
Now, this is the one that really, Ekin really appeared and surprised me. I was like, what are you doing over there?
Yeah.
You know?
So, Ekin's asking Olivia if she enjoyed her kiss with Luca, which she did. And she feels like, you know, Luca told me that he enjoyed it too. You know, it seems like there might be something there. Olivia did feel like it was flirty, and she is curious about Luca. She wouldn't know what to do if he came up to her and told her that he wanted to get to know her. She usually goes for the guys that's hard to get, but her head is telling her to choose Marcel. And Ekin is saying, but your soul is telling you.
Well, what is your soul saying?
Get that devil off your shoulder.
Yeah, please.
Okay?
Literally.
You and Marcel are doing good, and you're in the running for the money. Okay? Ekin is trying to mess up y'all's chances at the money.
And she was literally wearing red tonight. I think she was, too. Yep.
Olivia doesn't know where Luca's head is at with anyone. Scott and Tina chat. He wants to get to know India and Tina both at a normal pace. He's open. Tina is his original type, and he is just a little bit thrown by this whole situation.
Okay.
Scott and India have a chat. India feels like after the disagreement, they haven't been in a good place.
Yeah.
There were some aspects that show that he wasn't really caring of her when he approached the conversation.
What?
Scott says that the person who cares about me wouldn't have put me in that situation.
Facts.
If we're talking about considering feelings. India tells him, well, you did the same thing to me after you called me out and basically saying I gave you the ick.
What?
They don't want to rehash things. They have formed a bond, and he finds it hard to get to know another girl in front of her. But he tells her, look, the pressure is off, and let's just see what happens.
This is what you call committing to, listen, India is already committed to feel however she feels, even if she feels differently. Even if she's, and that's the thing about it. That's why you never do anything while you're mad, because as mad as she was in the moment, she's probably not as mad right now.
Yeah.
But she already committed to like this role, so she got to see it through, my boy. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, India, I wish you could get out your way sometimes, but I think Blair hit the nail on the head where she was like, India, are you really mature enough for a mature relationship? Because Scott is, y'all have to admit, based on what y'all told me and based on some clips I've seen, Scott is very mature this season so far. Granted, it's only 4 days, but I feel like Scott haven't made a mishap one time.
He's been handling himself well, I think.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So Maya Jama arrives, asking everyone how their experience is going.
Boy.
Ronnie escaped the love triangle. Naz is relaxing into the process, and Catherine is enjoying it. Ekin chose Curtis. She says that there was magic there, and he feels like he might have tamed the dragon.
Curtis, relax, brother.
He hasn't seen it, and she did surprise him. Ekin will show you what she wants to show.
Listen here, Ekin has the dragon been moving around the villa. What have you been doing? You've been over there spinning with Olivia, doing tricks and things of that nature.
While Ekin
been talking to India, been talking to Tina, been talking to Olivia, and you just been over there talking to Scott, talking about something. You know what, man? Just have fun. Whole time she is literally popping up everywhere in behind the scenes.
Right. Kaz has been open. Maybe she needs to wait for someone to choose her. Luca jokes that they don't have enough girls in here for him.
What?
At the start, there wasn't anyone there, and Maya asked him, "Have you been doing enough grafting?" Pretty much, don't put it on us.
Do you know what's funny? That now he put himself in a position where he can only be in a relationship with a bombshell, because he basically said these girls right here sucks.
Yes,
basically, and they just like, man, we don't want you anyway.
And he admits, like, no, I really wasn't trying to get to know anybody, and I was more so concerned about age than anything.
Yeah.
Casey and Gabby are good. Cass did throw shade when he first got there, but he said she just talking trash like she always do.
Listen here, man.
Scott, and then Cass wants to say that it was just a joke, and I'm just like, girl, stop.
It wasn't a joke. You made a whole moment because your man got took, and you just the first person you laid eyes on, Casey.
Exactly.
You slept with my friend. It just like it wasn't a joke.
Scott and India are working through their hurdle.
Yeah.
Tina has to select a guy to steal, and she chooses Scott.
Oh, Luca, all that work, all that kissing in front of the spotlight, in front of the villa, all that, hey, you like me, I like you, all that stuff, all this, I feel like you were reserved for me, and you basically spent the whole episode with her.
Yeah.
And she chose Scott.
Yeah. But that's what I told India last episode. Your man is gone.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Your man is gone, girl.
You did say that. You did say that.
So India is single and has been dumped from the island.
Woo.
They say their goodbyes. Before India leaves, Scott tells her that she's not an ick. He has enjoyed getting to know her, and he hopes she doesn't remember this is all bad. She forgives him, but will not forgive being called an ick.
Okay, well, guess what? I got the ick again. Okay.
So Maya and India have a little sit down before she leaves.
Yeah.
She was emotional about leaving everyone. She loves the girls, and she really couldn't try to go after any of their men. She felt like the match with Scott was good. Things went bad after that game, but she felt it was a small dig. His reaction set her back and gave her the ick.
Stop right here, right? When you're in a relationship with someone, right? In front of mixed company, why are you digging at me? No matter how, like, small or big, why are you digging at me?
Yeah.
Like
it's unnecessary.
Especially since, like, you already know I feel some type of way. I would have used the game to show, like, how much I'm past it and, like, I'm willing to be with you and things like that. But at the same time, I feel like her fate was sealed, because it's not like she got to choose to stay, like the bombshell got to steal somebody, man,
Right. She knew when Tina came in, it was game over for her.
Yeah.
And ultimately, he just wasn't right for her.
Yeah.
But she does think that Tina and Luca would be a better match.
I don't think so. Here's the thing about it, right? I think the only way that could have stopped everything was, and maybe this is too early, it's only 4 days in, is that she fully commits to Scott. Right, Scott would have to tell Tina, like, "Hey, get off my trail. I don't want to be with you," and that's the only way that she, as the bombshell, if she had a choice to choose who to couple up with, that she wanted to choose Scott, because Scott already told her, like, I'm not interested.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? But it is what it is. We saw the preview for one the bombshells coming in. I don't recognize the guy. Tell us who the guy was. But the girl, Grace? Now here's the thing about it. While I was watching it with you, Blair, I was like, oh, I think Grace will be great for Luca. But actually, I think she's going for Curtis. I think she's going for Curtis.
And I think Casey might want to get to know her.
Yeah. I actually do.
Naz too, honestly.
Do you know who I think will actually might want to get to know her?
Who?
Marcel.
Marcel too. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I wouldn't be
I think she's going to be like a big a big bombshell in the house. Like she's going to shake things up for a lot of people.
You literally told me her name and I forgot. Grace. Right? Grace, I think she's an okay looking woman, but I think for their standards, I think she is like beautiful for their standards, and I think she's gonna rock the boat. I think Ekin-Su may feel some type of way because I think she gonna go for Curtis. I think she gonna go for Curtis. Anything else?
That's all we got.
Make sure y'all subscribe, like, share, comment, all the above. Let us know what you thought about this episode, and we see y'all.
Bye.